y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Catch That, where we get to know about people's influences and talk about records and artists that are important to our guests. And I am naturally Elise, and that's my bro.
JR.
And today we are welcoming a very, very dope brother, Mr. Grap Luva. And
Salute, y'all. Salute.
hey. And just to know about him, he's producer, rapper from Mount Vernon, and just a very knowledgeable about all types of music. So we had to get this brother on here with us.
No doubt. Peace and blessings, everyone. Thank you. I'm actually here to learn as well because I know y'all got the knowledge. So I'm here to learn as well as impart. You know what I mean? I'm willing to sit back and listen and learn, man. That's the whole thing. That's how you get better at things, you know what I mean? By listening and learning. So definitely appreciate being here. Definitely appreciate being
here. Mm-hmm. So JR, how about you tell the folks what album we're gonna be talking about today?
Okay, well you know what I gotta do before we even start. You know what that is. My fan out moment, of course. So, you know, because I gotta cause a little mass hysteria for a second. I gotta do that for a second. So
I hear the words. I hear the words.
Yeah. Okay. So So on and on. You know, that is my favorite record on. You know what I'm saying? Mecca and Soul Brother. That is my favorite record. So as a kid, I used to always rap your verse. Knowing who you were, not knowing nothing, right? So
right.
Kill from Apartment 5B, shout out to him. And we did our live podcast in DC, remember?
Yes,
and we was in there and we was all talking, and I'm like, mind you, they said your name so many times, it didn't register to me. So we done took pictures. You done told us about, you know what I'm saying, stuff that Pete Rock gave, you know, you played stuff like that and all that. I'm about to dip. We take pictures, we leave, I get in the car, and I'm like, I'm driving, and Sin calls, and he was like, yo, what you doing? I was like, yo, I just left. We did this joint, we did with Pete Rock's brother. He was like, what? You was with Grap Luva? I was like, oh shit. I was like, I was with him. I done took pictures with this dude. I'm like, what the hell? I was like, I can't turn back now. I was like, I'm already gone. I was already like on 695 by then. He was like, you talked to this dude and you did not realize who he was? I'm like, because I was sitting there talking to you like everything was gravy, not realizing this is Grap Luva, yo. Like, are you bugging right now? And I was like, yeah, this was a moment. I done fucked up. So,
but I will say this: you're not alone in that. I've let me just say, as of recently, I was on Twitter and I posted a picture with Hev, my brother, Just Ice, and Rakim in it, and somebody tweeted back and was like, "Oh, the Black Pete Rock," and I was like, "Huh?" You know what I mean? And I was like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, so he tweeted back, oh, you didn't know there was a white Pete Rock and a black Pete Rock? Oh, all right, then carry on. Or as you were. He put as the hashtag as you were.
Okay.
I just was like, so another person responded and was like, when I saw that, it didn't make sense. I said, it didn't make sense to me either. I didn't know what they were talking about. So then I actually went and looked on that person's page who said that about, the black and the white Pete Rock. And it was like, oh, they had tweeted out something like, if you didn't know, you don't know hip hop if you don't know there's a black Pete Rock and a white Pete Rock. And I'm sitting there thinking like, nah, I think you don't know hip hop if you don't know you're talking to his flesh and blood brother. Right. I'm gonna leave it there. So you're not alone. Yeah,
and it was bugged out, and I was like, okay. The next time I talk to Grap, I'm like, so we on the podcast, and we done did a couple of Kills podcasts already, and I'm on there, and I'm like, I ain't telling him this shit. I ain't looking stupid while everybody on there gonna be like, And I know, Kill would dig it in you. And he would have been like, because he love, you know what I'm saying? He love you. So you his favorite, like MC. So he'd have been like, nigga, for real? You really like, he would have did that. So I was like, I'm not telling nothing. But then I was like, you know what? When we get on here, I'm going to tell him. And then I was like, after that, it was like we had that Heavy D tribute. Yeah. And we had it was like a spiritual moment. That episode was very spiritual. It was like God was all up and through that episode. Yes, it was. And I still talk about it to this day because it was a moment for me that I wasn't able to get out about my grandma. And I just let it rip. And everybody was emotional on the show. I was like, hi, I don't gotta be sensitive about my damn self. I had all
you good.
Hella sensitive, so it was like I talk about that with my mom all the time. And when she saw it, she was like, "Wow!" She was like, "Oh, you got emotional with Grap Luva." I was like, "Didn't I know?" I was like, "Didn't I?" So that was my little fan out moment. You know what I mean? But
it's all blessed, man. Shout out to your mom. Thank you, man, for just appreciating what I do. You know what I mean? I'm humbled and blessed.
Listen. So speaking of that, Elise was like, yo, we need to get Grap Luva on the show. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, I asked him. So 2 weeks go by. She was like, oh, did you ask him? I was like, all right, I asked him. So then another week go by. She like, did you ask Grap Luva to come on the show? I was like, all right, I'm going to ask him right now. So she was like, all right. Cool. She was like, I'm not playing. You better ask him.
See, I should have led with being mean. See, I try to be nice to JR, and he don't absorb that. He absorbs the negative.
He's going to the cracking of the whip. Uh-oh.
I be trying to be nice though.
Oh, man. Yeah, we got to show more love.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. So when you was like, yo, I'll be honored to do it. I was like, Elise, he gonna do it. I was like, so what do you want to talk about? She was like, I don't know. And I was like, I know with me and Grap, when we normally on the timeline, me and him is good with Kashif and Leon Silver's like, we'll go there. But I was like, nah. I was like, let's talk about loose ends. And Elise was like, okay. She was like, I got all the vinyls, as she see in the back. And she got all the vinyls. So she was like, oh, let's talk about that.
Mine is
like,
over there. Yeah.
Oh, see, y'all got the vinyls. I ain't even got none of that.
Pull out a few in the midst. I might have to pull out
Do it.
Yeah. So I was like, all right.
It's like grown up show and tell.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, so what album we gonna talk about? So I was like, we can talk about the third one. We can talk about that third one, that classic back there. You know what I'm saying? Zagora. And I was like, we can talk about that. So I was like, that's what we gonna do. We gonna talk about when he first heard it for the first time, what did it do, the influences that it had, and all that good stuff. So, Grap, when you first heard this album, or even when you first actually heard Loose Ends, let's go there. How did you feel? What came over you when you heard them for the first time?
When I first heard Loose Ends, I believe it was Hanging on a String, and it was just something different. Like it sounded like it was funk. It was like R&B, funk, tinge of hip hop. Hanging on a String. Now that one song, like that, the drum pattern in that song is crazy. Just the layout of the guitars and all of that stuff. It was just sonically amazing to me. And then their vocals just complemented the music and complemented each other. So it just was like, what is this, yo? Like, this is dope, yo.
And the arrangement of that song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. I believe that was him and Nick Martinelli who worked together on that. Yeah, but amazing. I just was blown away by it. And I was like, yo, who is this? And then I heard Dial 999, and then I heard Magic Touch way back, and I forgot about that record and then rediscovered it a few years ago.
Yeah.
I fell right back in love with it. You know what I mean? But just those first songs. When I first heard them, only thing I heard was Hanging on a String. My sister had a friend named Willie who was a DJ, and he would make mixtapes and stuff like that with club mixes and stuff like that, and R&B mixes. And that's when I started hearing more loose ends from him, and that those tapes he would make. I heard like Dial 999, and what's another up tempo joint there? Let's Get Back to Love, stuff like that. Yeah, so that's when I really started hearing, and then my love for loose ends came, I believe, it solidified with Zagora, with that album, because it was an end-to-end burner to me. It was like you didn't have to turn it off at no point. You just put it on, let it rock all the way through to the end. You know what I mean? And then the song that really locked me in with them, that to this day, every time I hear this song, it sounds brand new to me. Every single time. Gonna Make You Mine. That was like my song. Like the 5-minute version, not the version on the album, like the mixed version. It's like a 5-minute, 30-something second version of it where they mixed it out. Like they it's more laid out, and it's like they stripped it down a little bit, and it's more laid out, and it's funky. Yo, it is the greatest loose end song I've ever heard and ever will hear. Like every time I hear this song, it sounds brand new to me. Every time. I don't know how that's possible, but it's possible. I love it every single time.
Yo, I'm so hyped with that. Like I'm grinning because at least we asked each other what our favorite song was, period. And mine is Gonna Make You Mine. That's the version I like. The one that's stripped down, not the album version. The one that you actually get on the 12-inch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that was actually my introduction to loose ends. That was my introduction to them, because my Uncle Bernard loved loose ends. He loved them. Like I always remember looking at a little Spice cover. I always looked at that cover. He always played the cassette, always. But when he got that 12-inch of Gonna Make You Mine, and it was stripped, and it was just like, I was like, yo, who are these
that
people?
Bass line, them drums and that bass line, and them guitars, like how they just swing through there. Man,
yo,
and that's a loop. And he's like, that's a loop. That's a loop.
I had to learn that too. I didn't know that was a loop, but it was a loop. It was like,
I mean, he made the music, but it's it's not changing, and the only time it changes is for the bridge.
For the bridge,
yeah, but it's just that one loop. That what is it? 8 bars, 4 bars?
Yeah,
4-bar loop. Oh my god.
Oh my god. So when I heard that, I remember asking my mom. I was like, Mom, who is this? And that's when I started to get a little older. She was like, yeah, that's loose ends. And I was like, okay. And she was like, now your uncle used to love them. So I was like, oh, that's the same ones that wearing them red outfits on that cover and all that. She like, yeah. And she was like, they from the UK, right? I was like, they are? She was like, well, yeah. So right then and there, as the music kid that I am, of course, the research had to start, right? So I was like, so she was like, yeah, so that's that British soul there. And I was like, British soul, huh? And of course, that had to take me back. So of course, I had to be like, well, what's British soul? What is this? Where did it stem from? Like, what's going on with it? And then I looked and I was like, oh, so you got the Dusty Springfield that kind of started it a little bit. Then you got the Geno Washington and the Ram Jam Band, the ones that used to be the covers. They used to cover a lot of Motown stuff, but they had something soulful to it. Like they added some soul to it. And this is in the 60s now. So I'm like, oh, then you got what's his name? Jimmy James and the Vagabonds. They were kind of a group that was kind of like, they did Red Wine first before
UB40.
Yeah, so they did it first. And this is back in the 60s. So of course, when people think of that British soul, of course, a lot of people do start in the 80s. But I'm like, wait a minute, it had to start a little before then. You know what I mean? So then these are the guys that's like in the 60s and in the 70s. I know y'all know Maxine Nightingale. Which she did right back where I started from, that disco kind of joint. She was from London. So
wow.
she was in the 70s with that. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
it was like,
Okay.
wow,
I didn't
British
know that.
soul really started way before then. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then
Wow.
we get into the 80s where that experimental sound started coming in. And this is after pre-disco. So people are trying to find this sound here because it's a whole new different type of sound. And then we go to Junior, what Mama used to say. And
Yes, sir.
then after that, then that's when we
Donnie
get
and all of them folks.
Yeah.
Were the
yeah.
Pasadenas from the UK? Were the Pasadenas from the UK?
I think so.
Okay.
I think they were. I think they were. And when after that, then that's when you got the Sade comes in, the Loose Ends comes in, and then it was like, let me tell you something. Once Loose Ends came in, I think they represented the hood with a hip hop flavor to it, but with jazz. You know what I mean? And I was just like, wow, just to do that research, because you got to. And that's a public service announcement to people. Please do research so you know.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
And just to confirm, yes, the Pasadenas are from UK.
They are. Okay. I thought they were. Yeah.
I used to love them too. They were dope.
Yeah. So then once I got my history on them, then I was like, okay, let's get into all the loose ends. I was like, let me tell you, Carl, Jane, and Steve, they came in and they said, we gonna do something. You know what I mean?
And you know what? I didn't even know UK was from the loose ends until I was a little bit older, till maybe when I was like an older teenager. And the thing is, see, when you had Soul to Soul, because Jazzy B was talking and you heard the accent, you knew right away.
Right away.
You know,
But they mostly sang their R&B without an accent. You know what I mean? And you rarely saw them in interviews. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to say, I was just gonna say too, the initial name of that British soul sound, a friend of mine from the UK told me they called it UK street soul.
I think I told you, you had told me that when we were on Twitter. I never heard that before, but then
my homie like, who's from Manchester. He's from Manchester, England. He told me about it. He said they called it UK street soul. That whole style of music with like Junior, Loose Ends, Jazzy B and Soul to Soul and Omar Like Fook and all of those guys, like that was considered UK street.
You done mentioned her guy right there. That is her guy.
That's my guy, man. I met him once or twice. Very, very cool brother. Very cool.
I love him.
You would love to meet him. You know how they say don't meet the people you love sometimes? Nah. He's an exception. You would love to meet him. Very good dude, very cool guy. Very cool guy.
Because we had Zoe on our show and we were talking to him, and you know, on his new album, what is it, Elise?
Abstractions.
Abstractions. And she was like, and you got Omar. Like she loved
Yeah, man. Omar's that dude, man. Amazing voice, mad cool. Just a cool dude, man. A level guy, man.
And I love his social media presence because he shows him he has lives where he's making music and he'll talk a little bit about it and sing a little bit and then show you what he's doing. And I think that's so dope.
Keeping himself relevant, which is very smart, very smart. Because you know, these finicky, evolving times, man, people tend to forget about the great ones. You know what I mean? And, you know, they want that microwave music sometimes, but nah, you give me that slow cook stuff, because I know when it come out, it come right off the bone and melt my mouth. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be great. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not a meat eater, but you know, it's gonna be great.
Understand?
You know, metaphorically.
Right, metaphorically speaking. You know, so definitely.
But, like we said, they were definitely that street sound, because I always say you can mix a loose end joint with a hip hop joint. Like if you got a hip hop set, you can throw loose ends in there. Because like me and Elise was talking a little earlier, and we was talking about just how a lot of their joints are mids, but it still fits with, you can play that in the dance, you know what I'm saying, in the clubs, and people is rocking. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know what I'm saying? Because my mom was still in the clubs then. This is before I was born. She was still in the clubs then. So that's why when she heard loose ends, she was like, it was like that took her back, you know what I'm saying, to the shadow. You know about the shadow, you know what I'm saying? That's what, you know what I'm saying? Those colors
the
down,
shadow and all of that.
Yeah, so it took her back there. So it was just like, yo, I didn't know and I just don't like the fact that when you speak about, I feel like loose ends don't get the credit that they really deserve.
Nah, they
in
don't.
my opinion.
Nah,
I just don't.
They were an incredible 3-piece group, man. Like, you know, in terms of production, stuff they produce for themselves, stuff they produce for others, because people don't know they did 5-star, Let Me Be the One, All
That's
Falls
right.
Down.
That sounds like a loose ends joint if you think about it. Like,
if you listen to it, you strip the vocals away and you give those same lyrics to Jane. It's a loose ends record.
It really is. Like you
give those same lyrics to Jane.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. I can see that on So Where You Are on that album, on that 85 joint. You know what I'm saying? With you know all that. Like I can see that. That's why I'm just like, y'all sleep, because I felt like, to me, I felt like Loose Ends was able, when they came out, we wouldn't have had the Soul to Souls. We wouldn't have had, you know what I'm saying, the Lisa Stanfield. Heck, we wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, after that. Because I feel like Loose Ends created that.
The ball,
you know what I'm saying?
For real. Yeah. I think they were the most popular ones at that time. In the 80s, like, you know, Junior was doing it, but nobody was like, they were coming back to, you know, album after album, and they was hitting America in the head, man. Like it's a dude named Michael Speaks that does mix on Mixcloud. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a dude from the UK. He did a extensive Loose Ends mix one time. He was talking about how their music hits better in the US than it does in the UK. Like chart-wise, they charted better in the US than they did in the UK.
It's because it was extra crunchy black. Those albums is black. Yes,
very, very much so black. You know what I mean?
And they hit
like
with
I said,
us.
like go ahead. I'm sorry.
When I talked to, and I told you I'll get on my soapbox for a minute. It's amazing to me with our artists, you know, like a Loose Ends, like say a Freddie Jackson or even Anita Baker. When you talk to, you know, just average white person, they don't know who those people are. We know their people, we know their music. They don't know ours, and it blows my mind.
Anita Baker, yeah, I can't believe Anita Baker.
Man, look.
Wow, that's amazing. I can see Loose Ends, I can see Freddie, but Anita, I figured Anita was a national treasure by this time.
That's what we thought. And one day they post on Twitter, and apparently that's a thing. The white people don't.
Wow.
They really don't.
Can't name me one song.
Wow, that's amazing.
Because look, I work at one of my many gigs. I work at a bar, and they always come to me asking music questions and stuff, and I'm amazed at the stuff that people don't know. I'm like,
wow.
But I can go in depth about your little Beatles and your little Rolling Stone and your Guns N' Roses and all that, and they can't name me one Mary J. Blige song that's not Family Affair. Like it's so weird to
me. Wow. No, unless if it don't have hateration, holleration in there, they don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, if it ain't no dancery, they ain't trying to hear it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God, and that is my least favorite Mary song.
Least.
Like I cannot.
Every time I hear that song, you know what I think of? I think of Chris Kattan and Undercover Brother. Every time I hear that song, and it makes me cute, yo. That ignorant. I ain't trying not to dance and all that. Like, get this boy. I was like, this made this song that much worse for me. But Pete and them did a remix to it, so that saved it for me a little bit.
Yeah, because when we first heard it, me and my mother was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "It ain't gonna do nothing. Mary gonna have to throw out a second single fast." When that joint blew up, I was pissed. I was like, "What the hell?"
No, second single fast.
I was like, "They gonna have to throw another single because this ain't gonna work." I was like, "This ain't gonna work." And then the next thing I know, it blew up. I was like, "This? She just came off the Mary album. We're doing this?" Oh no, I was like, no. I was like, why? And like Elise said, y'all don't even know Real Love, and that's on a Target commercial. Like
Crazy. How you don't know that one?
you know what I'm saying? Like it's so crazy. But going back to loose ends, it just to me, I just don't like because they don't get a lot of credit to me.
Yeah.
And I think it just goes straight from I think a lot of people just go to soda, so which is it's not a problem. I don't got no problem with it, but I just feel as though they don't really discuss them. And I'm like, yo, do y'all not know that when you listen to their albums, you get so much, like you said, you get R&B, you get soul, you get funk, you get jazz. That's what I love about them, because they're jazz influences. You know what I mean? Like Elise was saying earlier, like she was like, they let the beat ride. You know what I mean? And that's why you got like 8-minute and 9-minute songs with them. You know what I'm saying? Because they let it ride and it wasn't bad. Because sometimes people can let a beat ride and you be like, can this song end already? Like, really?
But you still jam. And then you still mad when it's over. You're like, oh, gotta play it again.
Yeah.
And they would mix, like the way they would mix their music too was so, important and made it so, enhanced it so much, you know what I mean? So that was another bonus, great component to their sound. The way they did that stuff, you know what I mean? Carl had that, Carl being, I believe he's, Jamaican, born in England. Jane as well. I'm not sure if Steve is a Jamaican born in England, but I know Carl and Jane are. That bass heavy sound, that's innate in us as Jamaicans. You know what I mean? We love that bass. So, they would definitely work the bass out, work those bass lines out, make some incredible bass lines and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. And when it come to them, like Elise saying, it being so black, man, you got to look. If I don't hear, because I just went to my cousin's party because he retired, and he's, he was in high school around the time Loose Ends was popping. So I'm waiting for a Loose Ends record, and I didn't hear one. And I kind of got offended a little bit. Like, I was like, yo, cuz this is the DJ you got? Like, what's up with this? Like, he was like, yo, he ain't done. I'm like, well, we got about an hour because I got to go home. So, like, where is Loose Ends? Like, I'm not hearing nothing. So my cousin had to go over to him and he played Hanging on a String. I was like, you played that now. And as many times you could have transitioned them in there.
Into it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what was you thinking? I was like,
they don't hear
like,
it.
normally he was like, because everybody was getting together, was like, yo, we gonna give him a tip. I was like, we gonna give him a tip to put in Loose Ends into his set. Like, that's what we gonna do. Like,
give him a tip out. Put Loose Ends in your set.
Yeah, like, this is an 80s set. And this is 80s R&B. You're not playing them. It's not like they didn't have no big bangers. I'm like, I would have even settled for Slow Down for real. Like, okay, give me that. Okay, fine, cool. You know what I'm saying? Because I love when it gets to the breakdown part because they kill it. But he ain't play that. And I'm like, man, you call yourself a DJ. I was like, yo, how old are you, yo? Like, are you really?
Old youngin.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I remember, Hang on a String got major airplay. And actually, the time when this record was out, that's when I was still living in New York, and upstate New York. And I remember them, on the black radio there, they played it. They played it a lot.
Yeah.
So it's very ingrained in my brain. Because I was young. I was like, 8, 9 years old at the time. And I remember it vividly.
I remember when they were in New York at the Palladium live on WBLS, and they were performing live, and I was so upset because I wanted to go to. I was too young at the time. I was probably like 14, 15, and they were on maybe even 13. I probably was like young. I was young, like 12, 13. I remember them being at the Palladium in New York live, Loose Ends live, and they were rocking on the radio. And they were live. I was blown away. Like, I have to see them. And then years later, my homie came from New York. He came to the Capitol Jazz Fest, So I'm at home. I'm here at home. He calls me on the phone. He's like, yo, Grap, listen. He puts the phone out, and I hear James singing. I'm like, yo, where you at, yo? He's like, yo, dude, I'm around your way. Yeah, I'm around your way. Where you at? I'm at the Meriwether Post. I'm on my way up there. I'm on my way. I got in the car, drove up there. I snuck in and caught like the last 2-3 songs of Loose Ends of Jane.
Wow.
So this is when Jane and Carl had already separated. So it was just Jane and a band. It wasn't like the full group. So it was like, you know, the Loose Ends. I think Carl was calling his the Loose Ends Experience. And I think she was calling it Loose Ends featuring Jane Eugene, something like that.
Oh, that's
and
crazy.
She just got interviewed recently for my brother's Unsung. So
What?
she'll be on his Unsung. He's getting an Unsung.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. That Take Your Time was no. What?
Yeah, I influenced that record, man. I know I
bet
did.
you did. I bet you did.
I swear I was the one who said, yo, you should do a record with Loose Ends. He was like, yeah, you know why? I was me, because this is how it went. I said, yo, you should do a record with Loose Ends. He was like, for real? I was like, yo, yes, yo, that would be dope if you did a record with that. He's like, word? He's like, yo, matter of fact, yo, go ahead and make the beat tape. Put the beats together, like, you know, find the beats out of my collection, out of my stuff, and put the beat tape together, and we'll send it off to them. Like, we'll send it off to Carl or whatever. And sure enough, I made the beat tape. I found like all his beats that had Rhodes keyboards in them.
Mm-hmm.
I put all of those on a cassette, and I sent it. And then when they got the stuff, you know, he was enamored with it. Carl was enamored with it, whatever. Like, yo, this is dope. So they linked up, and they came to the States. And when they came to the States, Pete made a whole new track. So what you hear on the album is a completely new track from anything that I had played, that I had put on the beat cassette. Anything I put on the beat cassette was nothing that beat was not on there at all. He had made that beat when they came. He literally made that beat when they came. Wow. And then he changed. Yeah, he had one set of drums on there. They weren't hitting like. Then he changed the drum to the Billie Jean drum. Michael Jackson. And then boom, that's what we got now with Take Your Time. So yeah, that was me influencing him to make that record. Yeah, because that was like my favorite group of all time. Because it was like, you know, I didn't realize how much carte blanche he had with his loud situation with the record. You know what I mean? Like, he grabbed almost all of Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? And then, I mean, he grabbed all the loud guys like Ray, Ghost, Ness was on there, Prodigy was on there, and I just was like, oh hey, and then he grabbed Nori, Pun, Common, Black Thought, my brother Robbo, Beanie Man, Hev, you know what I mean? When I saw those, I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, man, you should do a record with Loose Ends too. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, yo, definitely. And he's like, all right, bet. And we put it into motion. And boom, that's what we got. Take Your Time. So the session. So let me tell you about the session. The session was crazy because I had to come back here to Maryland, like the night of the session. I had to come back to Maryland. So Pete's like, yo, he hits me like, yo, I'm in the studio with them right now. I was like, word? He's like, yo. I said, all right, I'm coming down. I gotta go back to Maryland tonight, but I'm coming down there first. So I went downtown. I went down to this record store called A1 Records, and I knew I would find it real quick. I found a 12-inch of Hanging on a String, and I bought it like $3 to $5, something like that. I take that, I'm going, so now I'm like, all right, I'm on my way to Green Street. So as I'm going to Green Street, I was like, something to say, stop and get some rolling paper. So I stopped, and I literally got this rolling paper that they use in London called Rizzler. So I don't know what maybe I went and bought the rolling paper, so boom, I'm on my way. So now I get there, and I see them, I'm just like bugging, like, oh shoot, they're here, they're actually here. Like, So I go up to him, introduce myself, you know, tell him, you know, I love their music, been loving them for years, da 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 da. So I was like, yo, I got this for you to autograph. So he's like, oh man, no problem. So, you know, Carl signed it, then Jane signed it, and then Carl's sitting there and he's like, man, I could use some Rizzler paper right. And I was like, oh, really? Here. I just happened to get some, right? Exactly. I just happened to get some here. Give him the Rizzler. He's like, man, you came right on time, man. Yeah. So boom, give him the Rizzler paper. He does his thing. And then literally I get the record signed, I give him the Rizzler paper, shake hands, kick it for about 15 minutes, then boom, I had to bounce. I had to be on the bus by like 8 p.m. I got from Green Street Studios, I left there probably like 7:30. I don't know how I did this, but I got to the bus right as it was about to close the doors. Like right as it was about to close the doors. I got there. I was like, whoa. Running, got to the joint, like, sat, like, whoa, just sitting there, just bugging and looking at the record, like, bugging out, like, yo, I got it. I got the autograph. I got it. Not knowing, lo and behold, that I would end up hanging out with him in London. Like, I actually went to London in 1999 and ended up hooking up with him and hanging out with him. But I hung out a little bit with him in LA when they came to do the Take Your Time video.
Mm-hmm.
Got to kick it with him a little bit in there, but I really got to hang out with him in London. It was real cool. He picked me up in his car. He had this quick little car, some little car he had. He was making excuses for. I was like, nah, man, this is great, yo. He was like, no, excuse my car. I was like, nah, this ain't, man, listen, man, I'm with you. I'm with you. Carl McIntosh, I'm with you. So that, whatever, like, so we dipping through the streets of London, just dipping through the streets, and then he takes me to this party that his cousin was DJing. So we ended up hanging out there and kicking it and everything. It was just a wonderful night, man. He brought me back to where I was staying at in London, and then he saw me. He came to see me off when I left too. So
that's nice.
That's dope.
Cool.
That's so dope.
One of my musical idols, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. That's dope, man.
Yeah,
that's so dope. That's so dope. So when it came to them, when did you hear the Zagora album in full, or did you just hear like singles and then it's like you sat with the album afterwards?
That. I heard what was the first single after there? Not Hang On. That's the first album. What was the first?
Is it Stay a While, Child?
Stay a Little While, Child.
Okay.
I heard that, and then I heard Gonna Make You Mine, and Gonna Make You Mine. That was it. Like, that was it. I think that's what made me go to the album. And then when I found out that record wasn't on the US version of the album, I was like, and then somehow or another, I got my hands on the 12-inch, and I found it on there, Gonna Make You Mine. I was just like, there it is. There is the song from the Most High. Like, thank you, Lord. You know what I mean? Like, this song is incredible. So then when I got on the album, I heard Nights of Pleasure. Oh my God. And then Mama's song. Is that the one, Be Thankful? Mama's song?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
You Can't Stop the Rain. It just started, like, it just was a wellspring, man. It just kept coming.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this is amazing music, right?
Yeah, You Can't Stop the Rain. That's my
my
favorite song is actually Stay a Little While, Child. But I don't even count, like, that's in a special category. That's just like a fave. But You Can't Stop the Rain, that's my joint. That's my it's probably the song I play the most on it.
I feel you. Yeah,
it's so crazy you brought up about, because we were just talking about this, right, Elise? How it was like she was saying track and list, right? And she was like, she said, what song was on there that I said that was on mine that was different?
Hanging on a String is on it. So I went and looked it up. It's on the second and the third album.
Yes.
It's on both albums.
Yes. It's on
So yours was right?
Are You?
Yeah.
It's on So Where Are You? And it's on
Zagora.
Spice Out. Yeah.
I mean,
And it's on, A Little Spice and So Where Are You? I don't think it's on Zagora. Is it on Zagora?
Yes.
I don't think it is. Hanging on a String is on Zagora.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm thinking about something
The
else.
first two
Yes.
albums.
Yeah. First two.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And
That's
that was a crazy thing because they did So Where Are You? Then they did two versions of A Little Spice, where there's
Yes.
a UK version and a US version. I have both on wax. I have both versions on wax.
And that's what me and Elise was talking about.
See, mine are all US. I think.
Oh, yeah, because I think Elise got the US version. The version that I have, because we was talking about A Little Spice, and I was like, "Tell me what you want." Starts off the album for me, and she was like, no." She was like hanging on a string, and I was like,
"He's like, no." I said, "Child, I'm literally looking at the record."
And I was like, "But wait a minute, mine is saying, tell me what you want." It's because we was talking about how albums start off. And we was like, yo, the way they start off with Stay a Little Wild Child, like they coming at you, right? So then we was like, so I was like, oh yeah, man, when they start with,
this is the US.
Tell Me What You Want, I was like, that joint thump. And Elise was like, wait a minute. She was like,
that's not on my album.
Not on mine, that's on side B. She was like, that's on side B. I'm like, for real? She was like, I'm looking at the album right here.
And at least that happened because of that Virgin MCA relationship. So they were doing records for Virgin, and then the US was getting the MCA. You know, they would give a version to MCA, and they would have different songs on them. Like, what song was on the US version that wasn't on the UK version? It was something that was on there. That was it's two different versions of Choose Me on those albums. I think the US version starts with just the horn a cappella. And then there's a UK version where it starts with just the drum.
Right.
With just the drums and the bass line.
Yeah.
And then it comes in. Whereas it's a version where it starts with just the horn. You know, that little a cappella horn in the front. And then the beat drops.
So, Grap, I have a question, and you maybe you'll know. So, on the US version of Zagora, it's Stay a Little Wild Child remix. On the European version, it's just plain. How different are they? Are they
not that different? The remix is just an extension of the radio version. That's all it is. They just kind of dubbed out a little more. You know, they do little stuff a little more. You know, drop the drums and just do little stuff like that. So it's more of that type of a remix. Not so much they change the music. It's more like an editing thing. It's more of an editing thing more than an actual remix.
Because we was thinking, we was like, remix, because Sis was like, yeah, you know that's the remix. And I was like, huh? There's actually an original version? I was like, where's this? I was like,
it's just the original version they recorded first, and then the remix is just them editing it out and, you know, doing little edits and stuff like that to extend the music.
Wow, I did not know the whole MCA inversion thing. I did not know that. That's why we got two different versions of each record. Oh, now it makes sense.
They were releasing a US version, and then they were releasing a UK version. I think the way they placed the songs is probably based on how the singles did in the UK and the US. So like certain songs probably that weren't on the UK version might have did well in the US, so it was on the US version, and vice versa. You know, I'm thinking that's what may have happened with that. But yeah, definitely the remix thing is definitely just them editing it and stretching the record out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let me tell y'all a fun fact about Zagora. It came out on my birthday.
Oh, dope.
I discovered that today when I looked, because I was like, wait a minute. I know May 7th. That's my day.
My daughter's
Wow.
birthday is May 5th, so that's what's up. And my
Aw,
sister, I'm surrounded by Tauruses. I'm surrounded by
lucky
my
you.
yeah, my sisters are April 27th, May 1st, and May 14th, I think. My niece is May 4th. My daughter's May 5th. Yeah. So I'm
Wow. Wow. Okay. I always ask this question.
We'll add one more sister in there.
That's what it is.
Hey.
It is. It is.
I always ask this question. Okay,
Mhm.
so you said your favorite song on it is gonna make you mine, right?
Yes. Yes.
Now, if you had to take one off,
Mm-hmm.
what would it have been?
I need the cover. Run the titles to me. I could tell you.
Okay, all right. Let at least do
I'm
the
gonna say
American
Stay.
version for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Stay.
Stay and Go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Stay a
Go.
little while, child. Slow down. I'm not.
Stay.
Yeah.
Stay.
I can't
Right, stay a
wait.
little while. Yes.
Sweetest pain.
Uh huh.
Ooh, you
And when
make
I
me feel.
found, oh yeah, that's dope. Hold on. And when I found the Sweetest Pain original, the Dexter Wanzu version, oh my god, I didn't realize. I thought that was an original song.
I did too. I
Yeah, but
thought that
they
was
did
original too.
that.
Yes.
The Sweetest Pain is
I'm
it's
learning
not
all
an
type of stuff
original song.
today.
Yeah, it's not an original song. That's Dexter Wanzu did that song first, and his version is amazing.
Ain't it
Amazing version.
though?
Yes,
Oh
and
my
it's a little more
God.
up tempo than their version.
Yeah.
Their version
Mhm.
a little more laid out, but their version is
Yeah.
funky and dope too. But Dexter's version, woo,
I
top
did
tier.
not know that. I did
Yeah,
at
but
first because when I heard it, I was like, yeah, that's the original. Then I was like, wait a minute. When I saw it, I was like, because I was going through YouTube actually, and then I was going through it because he was down with the Philly Soul. You know what I'm saying? He was down with them. So I was going through the Jacksons actually, and then this comes on, and I said, wait a minute, ain't this Loose Ends record? But this joint was like 1970 something. I was like, wait a minute. I was
man. Very dope version too.
I was
Yes,
like,
very dope version.
I was like, yeah. Dexter's joint is nothing to play with. I like it too. I do like it. Yes.
So check it out at least when you get a chance. Sweetest
Okay.
Pain by Dexter Wanzu. Very dope song.
Will do.
But go ahead. I'm sorry. So you say hanging on this. It might be slow down, but go ahead.
Ooh, you make me feel.
Yeah.
Who are you? You can't stop the rain. Be thankful, Mama song. Nights of pleasure. Let's get back to love.
It's between Let's Get Back to Love and might be Slow Down. Gun to my head, it will probably be Bleed. Let's Get Back to Love.
Whoa, so even if that wasn't
But I love that song though. I love that song. Let's get back to love. Let's get back to love. Oh, I love that song.
You know what? The song.
I might be Slow Down for real. It might, because I heard that song.
Really? Oh, kind of just oversaturated a little bit.
Yeah,
Yo,
it might be Slow Down.
So the song I would have took off. Actually, I guess the US said we need to take it off because it's not on the US version, it's on the UK version. And it's oh gosh.
Rainbow.
No, give me a second. My brain just went blank.
I love that.
Just a minute.
Oh, Just a Minute.
I don't care for that. But it didn't make the US version.
I gotta hear that again. Just a minute.
Yeah.
I gotta hear that again.
Yeah, because
when I listened to it on Spotify, I obviously got the record, but I was listening to it on Spotify, and I was sitting there, I was like, I don't know this song, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because the version that I do have, I guess it's the UK version. I love that's why I was saying Rainbow and take a A Train. I love how they that Duke Ellington thing there, man. I was like, yo, they bodied that. But
yeah, they did.
I think even though I love Slow Down, Grap, I'm gonna have to agree with you. They played it so much, I don't have to hear it again. I like when I start listening to the song, I just get to the breakdown. When they break down, dum 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 dum, and I be like, all right, enough.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And you know what? You actually really don't need it because you got to stay a little while, and you know they're similar words
similar,
are. Yeah, they're similar in structure.
Yeah.
So
oh yeah,
it's like I got my stay a little while. I don't necessarily need to slow down.
Nah.
I love that jam, but yes, sometimes I do get sick of hearing it, but I never get sick of stay a little while, ever.
Yeah, me either.
As soon as I hear that at the beginning.
How did you feel about what you call
cars and all that?
Yeah, as soon as I hear that, I'm like, again, time to get ready. Get right.
How did you feel about Mariah doing it? Using the sample?
She used Stay a Little While, Child?
Yeah, she did it for her and Lord Tariq and Peter Guns did it for My All.
Oh man, I didn't even listen to it. Like I probably didn't listen to it, bro. I swear, I don't like a lot of them major folks. I didn't really check for them when in the 2000s. My head was somewhere else, man. I just was like, music was like a little icky and to me. Like I was like, I need something. I had to dig and hunt for good stuff, like Georgia Muldrow and looking for stuff like that. End up finding stuff like that. People like that, man. But I was just like, the 2000s with that whole Murder Inc. and that whole formula they kept using with Ashanti and Ja Rule, and they applied it to everybody. J-Lo, Fat Joe, this one, that one, and like that stuff was getting terrorizing for me. It was like terrorizing my ears, man.
Trigger.
And see, that
Mary couldn't save us with the hateration, holleration.
Man.
Rough time to me, man.
And then she got a piece of it. Then she had to get a piece of it because she did Rainy Days with Ja, which another song I don't like from her.
Not at all.
I don't like that song at all. That's why Mary don't like it either because she ain't performed it since. But
straight up, yo. That was a tech grab, yo.
And she don't even perform it. She don't like it either. The label was just like, Ja is the hot dude right now. Go work with him. And that's what I think went down. But she didn't want to do that shit. That's it.
Just like she probably didn't want to do that damn Burger King commercial, man. That was grab the check real quick.
That damn ex-husband of hers.
Tell her what's in the chicken wrap and keep it moving, yo. Keep it moving. Keep it moving, man. I love Mary. I love her. But yeah, that era, man. Neo Soul did help out, you know what I mean? And the rise of Jay Dilla and Madlib and those type of guys incorporating themselves into R&B, and even my brother like incorporating himself into R&B and stuff like that. Those kind of things helped me get through R&B, you know what I mean? But at that time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was rough, man. I'm 2000.
And I'm glad you got out early. See, you got out early. I got out too late. I got out too late. Like,
man, I was like, what?
I'm not picking on you because you're young, but you still, like, even though you do have an old music soul, that still was your current. That was your. It was when you were a teenager. So
like Ja Rule was hot during my time. So it was like I was in high school. So it was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm with it, but I still was kind of like, I was like, when I was happy when Sweet came out with Southern Hummingbird, because I was like, I got something. I was like, okay.
Because see, during that time, I was good and grown.
Yeah, it was burst of light, you know what I mean? Like,
it was like, we got
something. She is a sweetheart. Big shout to Sweet, man. I hope she does more music. I met her maybe 2 years ago, a year ago, before the pandemic. I met her, and she was such a sweetheart, man.
Oh yeah, we love her.
Down to earth and cool, man. Yeah, she's mad.
Oh yeah, we love Sweet, and I think all her bodies of work are great. Like in the past one she brought out the Charlene back in 2016.
And see, that's the thing with me in the 2000s. You would have to sit here and remind me of certain albums. I'd be like, oh yeah, yep, I did check for that album. Oh yeah. Like like Music and all them guys. When he did the what was that? What was the album where he was red? Where it was all red and yellow? It was where it had Just Stop Playing on there, and Real Love, and all them joints.
Oh,
Even the first album, I Just Want to Sing, that was crazy. You know what I mean?
That was the Red
Just Listen.
That's what Have Crazy.
Yeah,
and all
Just
that.
Listen.
Just Listen, yeah.
Just Listen. Okay, that's what it is. Okay.
So
you know, I know.
Yeah, what's his name? Carvin Haggins and what was the other?
Yeah,
they were duos. They were making
Ivan and Carvin, like they is
dope. Ivan,
man.
yes. They
Ivan and Carvin, they are dope, man. Because they worked with Jill. They did Jill's first album, hands down. But
they were
God, what a time!
I was actually not right there, but towards the. I was in Jazzy Jeff Studio when Kev got over there. That's when I started going to Jazzy Jeff Studio, and I met Pete Kuzma, and I met I forget this other brother name. I think his name was Pat. He was an ill producer, hip hop producer, and I met Pete Kuzma. You know, he played on he played in Jill's band and all of that, and was a producer as well. So during that time, I was meeting those folks or whatever. So. You know, those experiences were kind of what helped me say, all right, you know, R&B is not completely gone. You know what I mean? Like there's people out here still trying to make good music.
It's what mainstream to give us.
Yeah, but to bring it all back to loose ends, that group was very integral in my overall growth as a person. You know what I mean? They like I can remember a specific time. I can remember certain things that were happening to me when certain songs were on. You know what I mean? Like for instance, that record "Gonna Make You Mine." It always takes me back to going to a sneaker store in the Bronx that some heads are familiar with, some heads are not, called Jew Man. And Jew Man was a sneaker store in the Bronx that I actually used to go to, and I remember one time. I bought these blue patent leather Adidas Top 10 sneakers that I love, and that song goes with those sneakers for some reason. Every time I hear that song, I think of those sneakers, and I think of the time I went to Jew Man and how I felt when I bought them, because I was like, yeah, I'm buying sneakers from Jew Man. I'm the man, you know what I mean? I'm getting some kicks from Jew Man. Like you know, when you was able to come uptown and say, yo, I got my kicks from Jew Man.
Jew Man, yeah.
Word? You went to Jew Man? Word? Like, cause Jew Man was crazy. Like you could get robbed down there.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean, you could definitely get stuck up and robbed at Jew Man. You know, or somebody out there trying to beat you for your money with 3-card Monty. You know what I mean? It was just crazy. Like it was just. Jew Man was just the spot, and they would have these exotic colored sneakers. You'd be like, "Yo, where did they get that color from?" Like,
man,
you know what I mean?
What? Oh my God! Yeah. When my dad used to come home with our Air Forces, because we in Brooklyn, so we could have went somewhere there, but he used to go to Jew Man. I'm like, all the way in the Bronx, like for real. He was like, "Yo." He'd be like, yo, I'm getting in there and I'm getting out, because you can get stuck up. You get money, like, I'm in and I'm out. Like,
and we used to take the train down there. I remember one day, I decided to take the train to Simpson Street by myself. And I went to VIM instead of Jew Man. I didn't go to Jew Man. I went down because when you got off the train, you walk up to go to Jew Man, and you walk down to the other store. So I went down to VIM, man. And I went down there, bought a pair of Reeboks, and I'm getting ready to leave out. And I see my man from high school, like my man Warren, like, yo, Warren, what up? We talking, boom, boom. He leaves out a little bit. He's like right beside me. We getting ready to leave out. I'm getting ready to leave out. The alarm goes off. And then he's about to leave. He's like, hold up, you want me to wait? I said, yeah, you can wait for me. When the alarm went off, I stepped back from the door. I seen a bunch of dudes just walk away from the door. Like about 4 or 5 dudes. Like they was like getting ready to lay on me and get me for my shoes.
Wow.
And I was able to escape that. Then by something going off in my bag, but I didn't steal nothing or nothing. They just forgot to take the tag off. So then I ended up going back with my homie Warren, and I never see the dudes or nothing like that. Once we got out there, they was gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just brings me back to that. Like that one record, that "Gonna Make You Mine" record, brings me back to that feeling I had when I bought them sneakers out of Juma and how elated I was, and just how the vibe that I had. You know what I mean? I don't know if I heard the record or I went home and the record played on the radio and I'm looking at shoes and loving them, and I don't know where the connection came, but it just always I've always had that connection to that song with those sneakers. I still have not seen them sneakers to this day. Like I don't know where they are. I have not seen them anywhere. So I know that was some Jew-Man exclusive stuff. And they were a half size too small, but I liked them so much that I bought them anyway. Yeah. So that's what music can do for you, man. Give you these incredible memories and incredible moments. Just the day Pete told me he was gonna work with us, you know what I mean? Like I was like, yo, are you serious? He's like, yeah, I got in touch with him. Like, yeah, we working, man. We about to work. Word? Oh my God. Like off the beat tape I made? Like, yeah. And then when I linked up with Carl in London, he mentioned the beat tape. He's like, yo, man, those beats on that tape, man. I was like, yo, I saw those beats on the tape. He's like, really? I said, yeah. He's like, yo, man, those are some incredible beats, man. Dope beats, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. I said, I know your style.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I know your style, yo. I know your style. He's like, oh man, thank you. He's like, nah, thank you, man. You definitely influenced, you know what I mean? So
wow, to talk to somebody like that and that you inspired by, and them to tell you that you dope, it just it's like the cherry on top there.
Yeah, it wasn't even me putting together any music, and it was just the ear that I had for him, for the things I put on that cassette for him to vibe off of and possibly use. You know what I mean? He appreciated that, so that was dope for me.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yes. So now we have come to my favorite part of the show, and that's our Josh, shut up. It is the see, I try to be sweet. See what happens? He acts up.
I'll bring it out of her, man. I'll bring it out of her.
It is word/song association. And today, which I'm gonna give you 5 different UK artists, UK R&B artists, and you just tell me the first song or memory or just anything that pops in your head.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna start with Sade.
Sade. Icon. Keep Looking. The end of the song where even, and it's not even her, it's the brother. When he, yeah, keep looking. Yo, oh my God, that end part when he sings, but Sade, Icon, man. Keep Looking, Icon. That's the song for me for her. Keep Looking.
All right.
And nothing can come between us. Those two songs.
Nothing can come. Okay. Can pull us up. Okay, I'm stopped.
Hey, I can keep going. I can give you another one. Love is Stronger Than Pride.
That's my favorite song by Sade.
Yeah, Love is Stronger Than Pride. Mine is Keep Looking. It's nothing funky.
Yes.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, you good. All right. Soul to Soul.
Soul to Soul. I think of hip hop soul. You know what I mean? The group that really forefronted it, like, you know what I mean, like really was giving you the drum breaks, you know what I mean, the break beat, you know what I mean, drums coming from break beat instead of them being like programmed in, you know what I mean. They were like the ones who brought that about to me, you know what I mean, that I can kind of immediately place on it. Like, and Jazzy B, that voice, you know, Jazzy B's voice is always dope. And rest in peace to one of their members. They lost one of their members too. Tragically, she was shoplifting in Harad and security saw her. She ran out and ran in front of a car and got hit by a car.
Oh man.
So I forget which member it was. It wasn't Karen Wheeler though. And but yeah, that's the piece for that member. And of course, Soul to Soul, Karen Wheeler off the top, you know, that voice. acapella for Keep On Moving. You know, that infamous acapella. You know, the one that gets the club popping with the Impeach the President drums. So the one they used for the intro and belly, which was so ill, like they used it perfectly.
Oh my God.
They used it perfectly in belly, man. Perfectly.
Oh,
Unbelievable how perfect that
The
was.
beat drop hit me every time. Like
every
Yes,
time.
yo. Every time.
Yeah,
So,
every time.
yeah, soul to soul, man. Yeah, hip hop soul icons, man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. Floetry / Marsha Ambrosius, whichever one. Or Flosis.
Floetry, love their combo. I think of combination and how complementary combination. That was a complementary combination. They did complement each other. You know what I mean? Her with the rhyming and Marsha with the singing. They complemented each other, and they made some dope stuff. They came to the right place with Philly. Came to Philly, got that funk, that neo soul funk sound, and that helped them take off. You know what I mean? It's sad to see them separate. Everybody has their reasons for doing what they do. You know, but I do wish both of them the best. I salute both of them. I thank them for what they did bring to the table.
Right.
You know, definitely dope, and it was appreciated. You know what I mean? So definitely. So I say dope collaborative combination. That's what comes to
mind. Like that.
Yeah, because I still run Floetry albums like they just came out.
I feel you.
They live album, that's what I'll be rocking to.
I love their live album. And I remember I bought when the live album came out, they had a recording of it on DVD. And so I used to watch that thing to death.
Well, I gotta check that out. I definitely got.
Oh yeah. Oh, listen.
They showed out on that show. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, Marsha was like, "I'm going in, and I'm gonna let you know."
Wow.
What the kids say? She knew the assignment.
Right. And then with Marsha, Butterfly. You know what I mean? Like
Mike heard that. Mike was like, "Give me that."
That's one of the most gorgeous songs. It's gorgeous.
Crazy. Yeah. And Mike laced it. Right? He laced it.
Yes,
Floated. Oh, that's such a
Mm-hmm.
float of a song. It just it makes you feel lighter.
Fact.
Like I guess like a butterfly. But
and he came and got that. He came and got that Philly funk too. He came and got that too, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mike knew what was going on. Mike stayed with the. He knew it.
Yeah, he did. He definitely kept his relevancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely kept his finger on the pulse of what the culture was doing.
Oh yeah.
Very honorable for that too. That was very honorable.
Because he didn't have to.
Yes, keep pace with the culture. That was dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, next one.
All right. And Lisa Stansfield.
My cousin.
Lisa Stansfield. I immediately think of Been Around the World, her class, you know, the remake, you know what I mean? To the point where it's been such a hit for her, you almost forget that it's a remake. You know, that King Barry laced it first, you know what I mean?
Right.
But her dope voice. You know what I mean? Dope voice. She's not a Tina Marie, but dope voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never disliked her. I never completely disliked her. You know what I mean? I wasn't I'm gonna go cop her music and woo, but if it came on, let it rock. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, turn that off. I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? It's some people I'll do that to before her. You know what I mean?
A lot of people now.
Yeah. Sounding like everybody else. Yeah. I'm like, who is that? Is that also? No, that's that one. Oh, dang, she sounds like this one. She sounds just like boom. You know. So.
But there's one Lisa Stansfield song that lives rent free in my head, and is "You Can't Deny It."
That's my favorite song from her.
Baby.
That's my favorite song from her.
Because and I love her singing on it, but the beat of that song, the production, like you could dance, and they have like this extended 12-minute mix.
Oh word!
And I would listen to all 12 minutes of it every get my life.
You Can't Deny It.
It's so
Yeah.
It's so danceable. Like it's made. That song's made for dancing. Like
Yeah, check that out.
Like, yeah, like her Affection album, her debut is really dope. Like I still play it now. Like that joint is dope with like joints. She got like Sincerity and Mighty Love and What Did I Do to You? Like them joints, they knock. It was definitely for the time for sure. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You had to, it was definitely for the time. So yeah. Lisa Stanfield, that's my cousin because we try, my last name is Stanfield, but her last name is Stansfield. So anytime we play, me and my mom be like, yeah, y'all, that's our cousin right there. That's our cousin.
Facts. Facts. Let's go.
right. So one more, and we mentioned him earlier, Omar.
Omar, man, icon, man, funk soul icon, great dude. Like I said, I met him before. Cool cat. Love his vocal texture. Just like like the way the backs he does, the backing vocals that he does, made. You know what I mean? Like the backs that he does makes the front like just it's like it hugs the front, it hugs those leads, you know what I mean? Like so dope, man. And he's a handsome brother, you know what I mean? So he definitely represents for the handsome brothers like myself. You know what I mean? So he's a handsome brother. So salute to him on that. You know what I mean? Salute to him on that. You know what I mean? Us handsome brothers with dope voices. You know what I mean? So salute to him on that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I love Omar. Man.
Yeah. And a song of his that lives rent free in my brain is "When You Touch, We Touch." Wow. That's if you want to dance.
That's your favorite from him?
No, I just said it just lives rent free in my head.
Oh, lives rent free. Okay, gotcha.
I got you. Touch and you touch. Like it's a up tempo. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta check that one out too.
Yeah,
that's my guy, man.
That's a joint right there.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you for hanging out with us and sharing all those stories, man.
Oh man,
I
love a storyteller. So you.
Oh, that's what it is. Thank you. I appreciate the time and that you guys gave me to be up here and on this platform and to share with you guys. I know you guys have like a nice little audience, so salute to your audience. You know what I mean? Shout out and love to your audience. Salute to the Apartment 5B family. What up, y'all?
I'm gonna tell Kill now. I got Grap on to talk about loose ends. We ain't talking about no hip hop now, but
that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And before we leave, if you want to tell people how they can find you, if you want to be found, and if you got anything
on Twitter,
new coming.
I'm only on Twitter. I'm only on Twitter. Have named me Grap on Twitter. I'm working on putting together another SP1200 instrumental joint. You know what I mean? Still got some beats left to share with the people, some music to share, some instrumental beats. So we're working on that right now, just looking for distribution and stuff. So if you know of a strong distribution party, people, let me know. I'm more than willing to hear it out. You know what I mean? So that's about it, really. That's it, really. Just still giving thanks to the Most High. You know what I mean? Still working with the youth, you know what I mean, trying to get these babies straight out here until they tell me I can't do it no more, you know what I mean, because I'm not this or that, I don't have no jab or whatever the case may be. I'm going to work with it, you know what I mean, like let the Most High keep me where I need to be until he says it's time for me to go somewhere and move and do something else. So it's all about the babies right there, you know what I mean, all about the youth. And just shout out to my immediate family, shout out to my big bro, thank you, Pete, for this being who you are and giving me, showing me, teaching me, you know what I mean? And always educate me on this music. Salute to y'all too, because y'all educated me today on some stuff. Salute on that throwback to the 60s with the UK soul. Thank you for enlightening me on that, because I didn't know much of that. And there's a lot of 80s UK soul that we got to find, JR, that's out there. I heard something that my boy, my man, his name is Connie Khan. He's in a group called Children of Zeus. Him and this other dude named Tyler Daly.
Okay.
Man, if y'all ain't heard Children of Zeus, yo, man, you gotta check them out. Tyler Tyler sings and he raps, and Connie raps, and I think they both produce their music, and then they have some outside producers as well.
Oh,
But they have a new album out called Balance. That's amazing. It's a perfect balance of hip hop and R&B. They had another album out called The Story So Far. That's amazing. They have another album after that called Travel Light. This is their third album. It's called Balance.
I'm on
Travel
it.
Light. Yeah, Travel Light is a little heavy on the R&B side, but it's dope. Like, they are dope. UK group, you know what I mean?
Following them.
So yeah, my homie Connie, I be trying to get him to put me on to, you know, the UK soul stuff. So he put me on the one group. I forget the name of them, but I heard a little single from that was dope.
Oh yeah.
But I had not to cut you off, but
yeah.
Pete had given me some unreleased loose ends. I gotta get it in your hands, Jay. I gotta find it. And once I find it, I'll burn it up.
I'm be like, Ma, I bet you didn't know this. I'm be like, Ma, I bet you didn't know this.
He can pass it up. You know what I mean? But it's some unreleased loose ends. They got a song called No Strings Attached on there. That's crazy. He actually used the Dexter Wanzu version of what was we just talking about? Sweetest Pain. He sampled it. Yeah, he sampled it on there and did like a little interlude with it. Yeah, he did like a little interlude. And it's like really, it sounds like it's from a cassette, so it's kind of like, but you can hear it. You can hear it. So I just have to locate it, and I'll get it to you.
Please.
I got you.
So I could be like, Mom, you ain't on this. How about
that? I sent it to my boy in the UK. I sent it to Connie, and he was very very pleased or whatever, because I don't think he had ever heard it either. So yeah, I sent it to him. So yeah. So yep, I got some unreleased loose ends, man. And I have their 12-inch from when they were called Loose End before they put the S on it. And then it's called what was it called? Look at the sky, or Kiss the Sky, or Touch the Sky, something like that. Something with the sky in it. I forget the name. And it's a little white baby on the cover, like it's a little white baby. It says Loose End. I have that. I bought that when I went to Japan. I found that and bought it. And I have another 12-inch. Have y'all ever heard of the instrumental that Carl did under the name Loose Ends called Feel the Vibe?
No.
Oh my God. That is such a laid out, smooth track. Like, that's a track. You dim the lights, get your glass of wine. If you do your thing, you do your thing. You know, it's like one of them type of just lays you out. It's like a real mellow track. It's like roads heavy, like kind of road heavy, but it's real laid out, man. Real smooth laid out track.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna listen to that.
I have it on wax. I have 2 of them on wax. I actually had one. I thought I lost it, and I ordered another one on eBay, and then I found my other one when the one from eBay came. I was like, oh, I did have this. I thought I lost it, so I got 2 copies.
That's like that one with
Vibe, man. Yeah, it's called like Feel the Vibe. Yeah, look, you can look it up on YouTube.
It's on there. Okay.
Yeah, it's called Feel the Vibe. It's Loose Ends, Feel the Vibe.
Got it.
Nice. It's just instrumental. When you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, this is smooth. It's some like you wanna let me go ahead and lay down real quick. It's one of them joints. Yeah, lay you right out, smooth, lay you out instrumental.
I'm on it.
Y'all check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, check that out. Definitely. Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Loose Ends, man. That's my crew, man. That's my crew. Like, people, when I tell them that's my favorite group of all time, it's like, over this one, over that one. I'm like, yep. Because I don't listen to them as much as I listen to Loose
strong
Ends.
To it, Grap.
I don't listen
strong,
to this one as much as I listen to. Yeah, yo, like over the Jacksons. I'm like, yeah. Because
I said what I said.
Jacksons, but I listen to Loose Ends almost it's got to be a day out of the week where I hear a Loose Ends record. It has to be.
Yeah, like you be like that on Twitter. You will post them. You will be. I'm like, oh, he in his bag now, yo.
Yeah. You already know. That's right. I'll post Feel the Vibe for y'all.
Okay, cool.
So y'all can hear it.
And also to the listeners, go on Twitter to the hashtag Fly Flute Sundays.
That's right.
Where
That's
where me,
Check it
Grab,
out.
our boy Vern, and our boy Neltron,
Yeah.
we post songs with dope flute
With dope fruits in
presents.
them. Yeah.
Yes.
Got it.
Release the fruits on them.
They be having me working too, man. They be having me working. So like some days I forget, and I'll just go to like somebody I know they got it, like Bobby Humphries. I know she got something.
Yeah.
So, like I almost forgot today. I was like, oh man, let me hit this Bobby Humphries off. Yo, boom. And that worked out. So that was perfect. Yeah, Fly Flute Sundays, y'all. So
I hit y'all with the Blackbirds today.
Right. Oh yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Feel free, man. Feel free to join up and send them flutes.
That's right.
I gotta
Join the
find
movement.
some more. I gotta find some more. I'm trying not to rely on Bobby too much, but I gotta find some more. So I'll find some more. I'm gonna hunt something down. Ask my brother if he got something for me.
All right.
I think I got it.
Yeah. But again, everybody, thank you for hanging out with us once again. And we will catch y'all on the next Catch That.
Salute. Love and blessings.